The Ghost in the Machine. The Culling Game is a ritual of blood, but for some, it is a crucible of evolution. While Yuji and Megumi navigate the divine complications of the angel in Tokyo, and Hakari recruits a god of thunder in the docks, the failure of the Zenin clan is walking into a nightmare of her own making. Maki Zenin, the woman who single-handedly erased a great family, has entered the Sakurajima Colony. She is faster, stronger, and more lethal than any sorcerer alive, but she is haunted by a lingering question. Is she truly complete? The air over the Sakurajima volcano is thick with ash and a familiar, buzzing cursed energy. A silhouette is descending from the clouds, moving at speeds that defy the laws of physics. It's not a human, and it's not a spirit. It's a grudge that refused to die. Welcome to episode 9. The predator is about to become the prey. Scene 1. The ashes of Sakurajima. The episode opens with a breathtaking wide shot of the Sakurajima volcano. The sky is a bruised purple, choked by volcanic ash. Maki Zenin walks through the desolate landscape, accompanied by Noritoshi Kamo, the disgraced heir of the Kamo clan. Kamo looks exhausted, his traditional robes tattered, while Maki looks as stoic as a statue. They are discussing the state of the world. Kamo reveals that the Kamo clan has been completely taken over by Kenjaku, leaving him a man without a home. Maki, however, feels nothing for the politics of clans anymore. She is focused on the strange energy signature approaching them. Suddenly, a massive object breaks the sound barrier, creating a sonic boom that shatters the nearby rock formations. A giant metallic cocoon-like spirit slams into the earth, creating a crater. Out of the steam and debris, a face emerges from the side of the spirit, a face Maki knows all too well. Scene 2. The rebirth of Naoya. The spirit is Naoya Zenin. After being killed by Maki's mother, a non-sorcerer, using a non-cursed tool, Naoya has returned as a vengeful cursed spirit. He is no longer human. He is a grotesque, high-speed jet propulsion curse. His arrogance, however, remains fully intact. Did you think you could just walk away, Maki? The curse rasps, his voice echoing with a metallic distortion. Naoya explains that his hatred for her was so intense that it allowed him to bypass the natural cycle of death. He moves with a speed that makes his human projection sorcery look like a crawl. He hits Maki with a tackle at Mach 3, sending her flying through a forest of charred trees. Kamo tries to intervene with his piercing blood, but Naoya is too fast. He moves in frames that the human eye cannot track, mocking them both for being slow and worthless. Scene 3. The limits of heavenly restriction. Maki stands up, wiping blood from her forehead. She is physically fine, but she is frustrated. She can see Naoya, but she can't predict him. This fight serves as a deep dive into the mechanics of Maki's power. Even though she has the same body as Toji Fushiguro, she lacks his freedom. Naoya continues his assault, turning himself into a living missile. He reaches Mach 5, creating shockwaves that level the surrounding area. Kamo uses his crimson binding to create a net of blood, trying to slow Naoya down, but the curse simply tears through it. Maki realizes that she is fighting like a sorcerer, trying to track cursed energy and logic, instead of fighting like a hunter who senses the world. She is stuck in a plateau of her own growth, and Naoya is the perfect wall to break her. Scene 4. enter the sumo and the katana. Just as Naoya prepares for a lethal strike, two of the strangest players in the Culling Game interrupt the battle, out of nowhere. A man wearing only a sumo loincloth Mio and an old man carrying a wooden sword Again Dado appear. They don't care about Naoya or the Culling Game, they only care about their crafts. Dado, despite being a non-sorcerer, asks Maki for her sword. He looks at her jet-black blade and scolds her. "You have a legendary tool, but you see nothing," he shouts. He takes the sword and, in a single fluid motion, slices through Naoya's armored shell. Something Maki struggled to do. Maki is stunned. How can a man with zero cursed energy see a spirit and cut it so precisely? Daido explains that he doesn't see the curse, he sees the lines of the world. Meanwhile, Mio challenges Maki to a sumo match inside a simple circular barrier. Scene 5, the inner domain. Inside Mio's sumo barrier, time moves differently. 1 second outside is like an hour inside. Maki agrees to the match, desperate for a breakthrough. As they grapple, Mio doesn't talk about strength. He talks about the freedom of the soul. You're thinking about the air, the ground, and the opponent as separate things, Mio grunts as he tosses Maki. Stop thinking. Just feel the flow. In this abstract, mental space, Maki begins to remember Toji. She realizes that Toji didn't just have a strong body. He was a ghost who was one with the atmosphere. He could sense the density of the air and the temperature of the light. Maki closes her eyes and lets go of her anger, her grief for Mai, and her hatred for the Zenin. She embraces the void. When she finally steps out of the sumo barrier, only a few seconds have passed in the real world, but her eyes have changed. She looks peaceful. Scene 6, the Ascension. Naoya, recovered from Dado's strike, prepares his ultimate move. He activates his own domain expansion, Time Cell Moon Palace. The domain is a terrifying biological landscape where every cell of the opponent is forced to follow the 24-frame rule. Kamo and the others are frozen, their bodies beginning to tear apart at a cellular level as they fail to move perfectly. But Maki stands perfectly still. She is unaffected. Because she has zero cursed energy, the domain's sure hit effect cannot recognize her. She is treated like a rock or a building, an inanimate object that the domain's logic ignores. What are you? Naoya screams, his metallic face contorting in fear. Maki smiles, a genuine, terrifying smile. I'm the one who sees everything, she says. She moves not with speed, but with a grace that looks like teleportation. She isn't dodging Naoya. She is moving with the air he creates. The episode ends with Maki raising her blade, the silhouette of her sister Mai appearing behind her for one final strike. The final suspense. The monster has evolved, and the hunter has awakened. The final blow. Can Maki's new enlightenment destroy Naoya's soul once and for all? Kamo's fate. Noritoshi is badly injured inside the domain. Will he survive to see the end of the Zenin legacy? The larger threat. Now that Maki is complete, where will she head next to help Yuji and the others? If you're hyped for Maki's God tier power-up, smash that like button and subscribe. The Zenin Massacre is finally reaching its true conclusion. Press the bell icon for episode 10, where the Sun and Oil arc begins with the arrival of the Kenjaku. Who do you think is stronger now, Maki or Yuta Akatsu? Let us know in the comments. End of episode 9.